Hey everyone, Grant and Kathleen here with Squad Help. In this video, we're going to talk about submitting your domains into the marketplace. The first thing to note, as we've talked about in some other videos, is there's two options. Number one is the standard marketplace, and there a standard listing, and number two is premium. So let's jump in and look at the standard submission process. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here into our standard listings and go over to My Domains. There's a few different ways to upload here. The first one is under Add New Listings. We have a bulk upload via CSV, and we also have a Google Sheets integration where you can upload new names. We'll talk about the Google Sheets in another video, but these two, the new listings and the CSV, are fairly similar. So let's pop in and see how to add a new listing. The first thing you need to type is the domain itself. So I'm just going to type this in, and then you put a comma and a price point. Of course, this is just an example and not the price that I would actually use for something like that. Then I click Submit Domains. And what you see here is the ability to upgrade into premium through this standard listing.
Grant, can you explain the upgrade domains to premium a bit more?
Absolutely. So what happens in this case is the domain goes into the standard listing automatically. At the same time, in tandem, it's pushed through the premium domain approval process. So it lands in your standard listings, but then you're trying to get it approved into the premium marketplace. If it's approved, you'll go through that process, which we'll cover a little more deeply in a moment. If it's not approved, it just stays as a standard listing. As you can see, it's a pretty simple process. You can turn these on or off. You can decide that you want to bring some up or none, or all of them, of course. So that's that. And if you want to give that a go, you hit upgrade to premium. At this step, I'm going to just show you how to go into standard, so I'll skip that step. And as you can see, it's really simple. That's the whole process.
Pretty easy.
So let's pivot and let's try submitting our premium listings. So I'm going to come over here to My Marketplace Listings, and what we'll see is a few options to start. You're going to see you can submit a domain you own as opposed to an unregistered domain.
Grant, can you walk us through the, submitting a domain you own versus an unregistered domain?
Most domains that we work with are registered prior to being submitted to Squad Hub. So the domainer, you own that domain, and you come in and you submit it. However, we do have a pretty unique feature that allows you to submit unregistered domains. And there's two types of unregistered domains. One is a domain that you're thinking about owning, that you'd like to own, but you want to know if it would be accepted into the premium marketplace before finalizing that purchase. That's pretty straightforward. Number two, we have a program, we call it Squad Help Owned, and that is where we will actually purchase, we'll buy the registration of certain names that you submit, and then you, if the domain sells, you still get a commission off of that when that domain sells. Again, a very unique program and pretty effective.
So why would someone choose the creative owned versus Squad Help owned?
So with regard to unregistered, you would choose creative owned if you want to own it. If you're okay making the investment in it, you're going to get a higher commission rate because you're making the initial investment. With regard to Squad Help Owned, we make the monetary initial investment in the registration, so your commission becomes lower. And the benefit of that is no risk, almost no risk, because again, we make the initial investment. So that's that. We're submitting individually. We also have a bulk submit option, which is very similar to the single. So let's just try this process right here. so everybody gets a feel for it. First thing you're going to do here is you're going to submit your domain. We've used this one a few times, or you'll type in the domain. Consider capitalization. If you have two words, capitalize the first letter in each word, the H and the P. Type in a desired selling price. With regard to desired selling price, two things to note. One of them is if the desired selling price is significantly higher than the bulk of our marketplace, what we see, what we're listing, that type of name, similar names, if it's significantly higher, that can be one reason that the domain is not accepted. So you might want to get to know our marketplace a little bit and try to somewhat match those prices to get the best acceptance rate. But sometimes if it's within a standard, within a reasonable deviation, we might come back and suggest a different selling price. But often we'll approve it at the price that you've set. But there are some things to consider. You can also do the description at this point. We have some other videos about descriptions, how to think that through. It is optional as you're coming to this stage, but something you may consider looking into. When it comes to coins, the first thing to note is accounts are set to use coins as by default. If you are a domainer with an existing portfolio, we do have the ability to approve you for a non-coin submission. You would need to talk to our customer support team. That's through the blue button in the bottom right corner on most pages of squadhelp.com, and they can give you some information on that. But let's talk about coins. Coins allow you several benefits. They're going to give you the best commission rates possible. They're going to give you prioritized and faster review time. Number 3 is that we partially waive the exclusivity requirements for your listings, so you can submit to sites such as Afternic. Number 4, you don't have any submission limits. There's a lot of benefits to coins. And you're probably thinking, how do you get coins? You can purchase them through SquadHelp. They're $1 per coin, except there's some bulk discounts, as well as you move up in your benefit tier, which comes with having more listings with us. There's also some additional ability to get discounts on coins that come with some of the higher levels. Okay, so we're back here. One other important point is that domains that you own should only be submitted once you own them. So if you're acquiring through an auction and maybe you're about to buy it, or some other reason that you're gonna own it soon, but you don't own it yet, please wait until you actually have possession of that until you submit it. That is one of our policies.
Okay, so after they go ahead and submit their domains, can you walk us through the review process or the acceptance process?
Absolutely. So just to back up, the review process for unregistered domains happens entirely within SquadHelp, and is run by our branding team. So it's an internal process. When it comes to domains that are owned by you, the domainer, they initially go to an expert review panel who's going to provide some feedback, but the final decision is still made by SquadHelp whether the name is going to get accepted. One small note: we have about an 8% acceptance rate, so it is a very curated list, just so everybody has realistic expectations when it comes to the process. The final concept when it comes to the process of getting these done is once they've been reviewed, you're going to get an email where you're going to have a final acceptance of the domain and making sure that you're comfortable. One of the things that could change, as we discussed, is the selling price. So you'll see all the final details and terms. You'll do a final acceptance before that goes live. So that's the process of submitting your domains, both to the standard and the premium. Hopefully that's clear, and hopefully we can work with you soon. We see you submitting a lot of domains in the near future. Have a great day.